What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 10 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Today we are using the Zacian team built by Chris Reitz. We have featured one of his teams on, before on the channel. I'll make sure to link it above. This is, I think, a pretty similar iteration to that team, but this is just the new and improved version. And honestly, I'm really excited to try it out. So we do have my personal dear and led close to my heart, Bulky Suicune, to start things off, which gives us a lot of support with Tailwind. It also does have Snarl to help deal with Calyrex, and it just has really strong options with Scald and Ice Beam to deal with just big problems. Next up, Rillaboom, pretty standard there. One thing that I really like is the fact that it has Drum Beating, just giving you a really good answer when you're looking down a Kyogre next to Serena, where you don't have to worry about Grassy Glide, and you don't have to take all that recoil from Woodhammer, because honestly, you don't really need it. Next up, we do have really offensive Zacian. Not something that I typically use. I tend to go on the really bulky side, so it's cool to see just like a more hitting Zacian there. We do have Close Combat just for maximum damage, and the rest of that is pretty standard. Aleki, not really much to say. Same with Incin. I do like the fact that this does have Throat Chop, letting you potentially stop some parting shots as well as Snarls, which can come into play, particularly with Zacian, right, where you have people wanting to switch in Incin, being able to stop them from switching out and then KOing them back with Close Combat is huge. And finally, we do have Landorus with a Choice Scarf. I think this is actually a really cool upgrade, because I think originally it was the other Landorus, unless I'm wrong. It's actually been a while, and I've been playing so many teams that I forget what has what. But either way, I think this is a really cool way of using Landorus, because people do fear it, but people expect it to be a little bit slower than it normally is. And so having the ability to get some big hits onto things like Calyrex before they're able to move, or opposing Zacians, is going to be huge. So we do have the rental on screen, and with that, let's just hop right into the first game. Alright, battle number one, and it is Santino's team. It is Kyogre with Serena, Rillaboom. It is going to be that Weavile with a Thundurus as well as Urshifu Water. So Rillaboom is huge here, right? Rillaboom obviously being able to deal with Kyogre, deal with Urshifu Water is great. I mean, Regieleki is also tempting. Regieleki is... I like Rilla lead. Rilla Zacian with Aleki, and then... this is hard. Suicune maybe? Probably not Landorus, shocking, because it would be a speed tie, so that's a little tricky. Incin, also hard. Suicune, because of that double grass, is a little bit tricky. We are really leaving ourselves susceptible to it, because we don't have, what is it called? We don't have U-turn on Rilla, but we do have Ice Beam on Suicune, and looking at the calcs real quick, we do have a fair bit of defense investment, so there is a chance of being able to live a hit. I think the scariest thing for us is going to be Kyogre next to Thundurus. As we actually, okay, so we are just going to see Weavile with Rillaboom. Not the scariest thing in the world. We do have to potentially worry about Feint from Weavile, but other than that, actually, let's see. Who is... No, Santino's Rillaboom does have pressure. I mean, does have speed investment, I think. So we will lose the speed tie. I don't really want to deal with Weavile. I'm going to switch out into Suicune and go for a substitute on Zacian. This is a little bit tricky, but what? You're not going to go for... Okay, so we do see a swap out, which is great. I hope that you go for a fake out onto Rilla. If you go for a fake out on a Rilla, we're in a really dominating position, because that means that we have the free substitute. As we do see fake out, please be in a Suicune. It is in a Zacian. A little tricky, but I don't think it's the end of the world. We know that they're... This is like potentially a really bad play, but neither of these pressure offensively, right? We are going to see the Tailwind. I think getting the substitute up is really vital, as we will see a Grassy Glide into Suicune. We should be able to live. 15 is more than 0. It is a crit, so that's definitely a little bit unfortunate. But now we have the free substitute up with Zacian, and this should be really good damage onto that Tornadus as over half. I'll take it. We probably want to switch out what it has. Protect, Tailwind, Rain Dance, and Hurricane. What? We switch out an Arilla and go for a Blade onto their Rilla. We should be able to KO because of the investment. We know it's Weavile and we know it's Kyogre in the back. We will see a Glide come into us, so that's really good. It could be a Hurricane as well. As, yeah, we do see the Hurricane into Zacian, which is fine with me. I don't think that'll break the sub. It might not. It unfortunately does, which definitely a little bit unfortunate. But now we know that we can go for a Fake Out. They don't have Tailwind to stop that as... oh, wait, we have Fake Out. Oh, they didn't break the sub. Even better, right? So at this point, what we can do is we can what? Fake Out. I don't really want Rillaboom taking a hit. They do have U-turn. So I'm going to double the Tornado slot. Because I'm not really afraid of their Rillaboom at this point. And I would rather prevent the hit from that. Right? Because if you U-turn into my Rillaboom, that means Zacian keeps the sub. If you target into Zacian, you do damage to yourself, and then I'm probably taking them out of Grassy Glide range, which is a little bit tricky. But into Zacian makes sense. We can probably... We do have a lot of attack investment, so we do have the ability to put pressure onto their Zacian. I mean, not their Zacian, their Rillaboom. I think what's going to potentially be scary... oh, and we're stalling out Tailwind, which is really important, right? Because we do have a Lecky in the back. And so if we can get rid of their Rillaboom... So I say we double up into Rillaboom. I'm not worried about Weavile at this point. Kyogre is a little scary, but we can potentially stall out Tailwind, and you have to pick what you lock yourself into. Yeah, so they don't have Protect there. We are going to see Weavile. I'm fine to double target Rillaboom, because Rillaboom... Yeah, double target Rillaboom. There is... No, I want to see... There is one turn of Tailwind left. So if we... Let's Grassy Glide here, as well as go for a Behemoth Blade here. We know that their Weavile is Sash, but that's not going to matter. Kyogre is slower than Alecki, so we do have that. We also do have Sash on Alecki, so we do have that option. Grassy Glide into them is enough for the knockout, so this is even better, right? Because now what we're doing is we're guaranteeing that barring this KO, which it should not KO, it might. Okay, so it does KO. Not the end of the world. Kyogre does have to lock itself into Water Spout, but we will be able to get Behemoth Blade onto them. And what that does is that gives us a free Thunderbolt. Is there Sash on the Weavile? I always forget where the Sash is. No, there's no Sash on the Weavile. So this is perfect, right? We have Regieleki. You can't really stop a Thunderbolt, and we know you're Scarfed. So no Protect there. There's no really way to prevent this damage. So yeah, we can bring out Alecki here, and it's going to take you 2 hits to knock that out. We should be able to, yeah, especially if we hit you with the Thunderbolt first, you shouldn't be able to survive this. Oh, Alecki is shiny. I totally missed that. That was my bad. Shiny Alecki is one of my favorite Pokemon, fun fact. So it looks like, barring some kind of freak accident, we will be able to take home game number 1. So overall, really good showing. This is a really tricky team to beat. So the fact that we were able to come back with this, and I felt like there were just a lot of spots where like it was a scary position, but the fact that we put on so much pressure on Rillaboom, identified the threats early, I think is what really let us come out on top. And also the fact that we were able to stall out Tailwind. I think stalling out the Tailwind was so critical to winning, because it meant that we were faster with Regieleki in the back, and then we were able to preserve it while like not picking up super relevant KOs until they were necessary. So yeah, overall really really good first game, and let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and we played this team earlier today. It is Necrozma with Zapdos, Incineroar, Amoonguss, the Iron Defense Tapu Fini, important to remember, as well as Mimikyu. So what? Just because we played it, I don't actually have a good answer for it. Ironically, Incin, I feel like you're gonna want to lead Zapdos, so I like Regieleki here a lot. I want Incin in the back. How do I beat Amoonguss? I beat Amoonguss with Incin. I could do this with Incin Zacian. I could lead Zacian. Let's lead Zacian and do this, right? We want to try and get up a substitute. I think if we can get up a substitute, we'll be in a really good position. This is actually going to be a really interesting match, given the fact that we do know stuff about this team. But this is a very different team. I think leaving Landorus behind was hard, but I'm so worried about Trick Room. We will see Amoonguss with Mimikyu, so I can substitute. In all honesty, I can substitute all day. I can Electro Web. I can go for an Electro Web and set up a sub. This way, I can break Disguise on Mimikyu. I can well, Amoonguss protected, but I could have broken a Sash, and now I have a substitute up. So we are in, I think, a really good position, because now they don't have a switch, and we have really good damage into them. So that should really help us out. We do have really big damage here. Okay, wait. It's not weakness policy Necrozma. We saw that too. So we are going to see Trick Room. I think that that's fine. Just like I said, because of the fact that we have a sub up, I'm fine to try to Blade. I want to KO the Amoonguss. I think with Amoonguss gone, we're in a much stronger position. It just protected. We are going to see the swap, probably Necrozma, right? Yep, into Necrozma. Necrozma is fine with me. We do see the Spore into Aleki. I think that that's also fine. Aleki, I would have liked to keep Aleki awake. So I'm guessing Amoonguss is Sash, right? Sash would be Bad News Bears, but also not terrible. Or it lives, which is a thing. We have the swap out into Incin. We do have the swap to Incin. I feel like the switch is obvious. I'm going to just try and stall out their Tailwind. We know what. It's Mimikyu in the back. We will see a Protect here. So we can equally try and stall out. They're probably going to Swords Dance, which is not ideal, to say the least. But, okay, we just see a Sunsteel Strike, so that's actually perfectly fine. We're burning through Sleep, which is also really nice. We can, what, threaten? There's still 2 turns of Trick Room. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch once again. Let's go for this, right? Because what I'm thinking is you might try to Spore into the slot. As you do switch out, we are going to see Mimikyu again. Mimikyu is pretty fine in this position. Sunsteel Strike, I'm guessing that's going to go into Zacian once again. And so we're in a good... Oh, you could try and reverse the Trick Room. That would be really cheeky. That would be super cheeky. Close Combat comes out. Does good damage. I think if we wake up, we'll be in a really good spot. We are going to see the Berry. So that was... I feel like we saw the item last time. So it is Citrus. Regieleki, unfortunately, fast asleep. So I'm gonna say you're gonna call me. I'm gonna make an aggressive read here. I'm gonna make a really aggressive read and say you're gonna try and reverse your Trick Room, expecting a double protect. Or even if I wake up with a Lecky, you think that I'm not gonna be able to do enough damage. As just kidding, we get that wrong. As in comes Incineroar. Okay, so that happened. So what do we have in the back? We have Suicune? We have Suicune. Suicune can do some good damage. This is physical Necrozma, so we do have that. We will be able to at least get it to -1. This Sunsteel Strike is gonna hurt. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It is just gonna be... We do live, which is great, but we are Behemoth Blading into the wrong slot. So we just... Sad day. We are going to see Twisted Dimensions return to normal. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring out Suicune. Suicune's in a good spot. Because now what? It's Amoonguss. Amoonguss is still really tricky, but we do actually need to preserve Zacian, or not Zacian, we do need to preserve Incin a little bit better than we are right now, because that's really going to be our main answer for Amoonguss, so we do have to be just a little bit cognizant of that. We do see the fake out into Incin, so they are faster, as they will set up a Trick Room. Okay, that's fine. I am fine to Flare Blitz anyway, as well as go for a Scald into your Incin. I think we do have special attack investment. We are modest. So I mean, it could be a Selfest. That Amoonguss is actually going to be really tricky. Amoonguss, we are going to see the swap. Anything that comes out is not going to like a Flare Blitz. It is going to be Amoonguss. So potentially really good for us. We do see a Parting Shot, I'm guessing, yep, into our Incin, just trying to significantly limit the amount of damage it's going to do. But we still will hit it really hard. I'm guessing you do want to, you could Spore into the Suicune slot. Because now it's a question of where is the Spore going if we don't pick up the knockout with this Flare Blitz. We could just double it. We could say, hey, something's going to fall asleep. Oh, wow, that's really good damage. That's really good damage. Scald will come out into Mimikyu. That's also really good damage. We do get the burn, which is huge, because Mimikyu tends to do physical damage. Yeah, I'm gonna say screw it. I want to get Mimikyu knocked out. I mean, not Mimikyu. I want to get this Amoonguss gone. You cannot pick up... you can't pick up a knockout onto both of these, so even if you put something to sleep, you can't KO the other. So we do see a Spore come out into Incin. I think that's fine. We still have Intimidate, and I think Suicune is just going to be very useful in the end game. There could be a... Oh, did not account for that, but we do have the burn, so we do take that well, which is really great for us. We just need to pick up the KO with this Ice Beam, which we should, right? Nice, we get that. So now you have a Solgaleo, and we can just try. We just need to stall out Trick Room, which we should be able to do pretty effectively. We do have a Lecky, which is still like hanging out in the back. As we will see Necrozma come back in. I thought it had less HP than that. That's fine. Regieleki can come back here, and we can Scald into Mimikyu with the idea that let's force you to stay in, and then we can cycle Intimidates, and I think that will really help us, because then we can have I mean, Zacian's low. Zacian is really low. We do have Incineroar, so that's good for us. You could double Suicune. Doubling Suicune would be scary, right? Because then you will get good damage overall. We will see Sword Stance. I think that should be fine. Is that fine? Probably not. Woodhammer once again into Suicune. That I'm fine with that. This will cause you to, like I said, go down. And so, oh, even better. We get a Scald into you. So really good for us. That's really good chip, in all honesty. You bring out Incin here. Incin cannot fake out Suicune. You could fake out Regieleki. That's probably a good option. Fake out Aleki. How many turns of Trick Room are left? This is the last turn of Trick Room. I would just like to, I guess, double up onto... Let's double up onto you. We do have close combat in the endgame for their Incin, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, we do. We still have close combat. I don't want it to be a Incin versus Incin endgame, but I mean we do have Throat Chop, so we at least have that going for us, that we won't take recoil. We do see Fake Out into Aleki. That's fine. You break my... Whew. That is big damage. Very big damage. And that should KO... Oh, onto Suicune, which is fine. I'm pretty sure we wake up this turn, right? We will wake up. Oh yeah, because duh. We bring out Sleeping Incin. I forgot that was asleep. What do? We can Thunderbolt. I think Thunderbolt makes sense. We go for a Thunderbolt here, and we just try to kill a turn. We're not going to get it, but that should be fine. We know that Incin... What? We know... How do we do this? Thunderbolt should do a significant chunk, if not pick up a KO. And if you're protecting... Okay, oh, whoa. Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, but I'll take it. We do get... I think that was a first turn wake. We will be able to Thunderbolt for the KO onto this Necrozma. We do still have Zacian in the back with close combat, as you will Flare Blitz into Aleki. Aleki will hold on, and so that should be able to wrap this one up as well. We can just go for a Parting Shot. Let's not Parting Shot, let's Throat Chop. Let's do this as well as go for a Throat Chop. I just don't want to bring out Zacian prematurely, just in the risk that they do like Flare Blitz into that slot. So really good second game. Like I said, I'm glad we were able to pull that off. I know we played this team this morning, which kind of helped, but it was a different 4 this time, and so that really made it exciting. But yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is not Necrozma, it is Reshiram. Indeedee, Reshiram, Zapdos, Rillaboom, Stakataka, and Urshifu. So Suicune is fun. Suicune, Rilla is tempting for nothing. Let's bring Suicune. Suicune, Lando. I like that. I like Incin, and I like Zacian. I think Regieleki doesn't really do much. That could be Urshifu Water. I think this is still fine. We do have Ice Beam for Rilla. We do still have to be a little cognizant of what Reshiram can do, but we do have access to Snarl, which I think is really big. So even if you're like Indeedee, Reshiram, like not the worst thing. Let's see. So it is going to be Urshifu Rillaboom. Okay, so I did not account for this. What do I have? I have Incin. Okay, I have Incin in the back. So I bring out Incin. I guess I double switch. I'm gonna double switch. It feels kind of bad, but then we can pressure a Fake Out onto Urshifu while we set up a substitute with Zacian, and I think that will really help, because we can't really touch this Urshifu. We can burn it with Scald. But yeah, we have a really safe, barring a U-turn, we have a very safe fake out as well as substitute. We're still gonna take actually quite a bit from Surging Strikes. This is like not gonna be fun onto Zacian, which that is a lot. Woodhammer will come out onto Ensign. That is also a lot. This is a bad position. We fake out our Shifu, set up a sub. What does that even do? Like nothing. Fake out. I wish Behemoth Blade was effective. And close combat. It could be Scarf. Let's do this. We will see a Rillaboom withdrawal, which is fine with me. Zapdos comes out. That's also fine with me. We do see Protect, so I really wish I had gone for that substitute right about now. We can sacrifice Zacian for free switch into Landorus. So we parting shot here and close combat into Urshifu. And yeah, we sacrifice Zacian in order to bring out... That's good damage. That's real good damage. I'll take that. We lose Zacian. Yeah, we're gonna lose Zacian here unless you Surging Strike into Ensign, which they do, right? Which is fun. Which makes sense because then what you can do is you can bring out Suicune. That lets you bring out, or you Thunderbolt into Zacian, which can't take it because it's at -1. So that was a really good play there. We are forced to bring out Suicune next to Landorus. Landorus will be able to outspeed and KO. We do have Wakanberry. And so the Zapdos should not be able to hit Landorus. We lock ourselves into Earth Power. We lock ourselves into Earth Power and go for an Ice Beam. Right? That's what we gotta do. We gotta Ice Beam the Zapdos and go for an Earth Power into our Shifu. It's not going to be very effective on Rillaboom, so we are going to be relying a little bit on... That you should not have done that much damage. We get the KO, so that's great. We will see a Hurricane. Blind Hurricane. Glad they missed that. Ice Beam comes out into Zapdos, gets good chip, but this should put Landorus in range of an attack from Rillaboom. Oh, you bring up Reshiram. What? Okay, so Reshiram is in now. Oh, this is so hard. What is the benefit of Tailwind? I'm hitting after anyway. I'm gonna do this, and I'm going to Earth Power your Reshiram. It's an interesting call. I'm guessing Reshiram is Scarfed, which is why you would bring it in. We do a pretty good chunk onto it, as Zapdos goes for Roost. So it's not Scarf on Reshiram. It could be... Does Reshiram learn Trick Room? Blue Flare onto Lando. Lando will go down. I don't see Suicune winning this 3v1, unfortunately. Especially, yeah, with Rillaboom in the back. We can't really... what? We would have to KO Reshiram with Scald this turn. Live the Wakan hit. It's, like, unlikely, but it's not 0%. So, we're gonna try it. We'll be able to soak this up. Yeah, I'm just kind of stalling for time at this point. Because, yeah, one more Thunderbolt, especially with, like, a Woodhammer in the back, should pick it up if this Earth Power does not. I would at least like to get a KO onto Reshiram. So looking at the lead, yeah. I mean, what could I have done? Right? Urshifu Water, I could have led Aleki, but Aleki doesn't like Reshiram, so that does make it hard. But nonetheless, I think this was still a really good run with the team. We will be using it tomorrow. Make sure to check out the rental as well as the Pokepaste in the description. And until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.